And I want you to know one thing. It's been a pleasure. You just like to dance, don't you, Carl?
That's right.
You like to dance. That was famous. Hello, welcome to One on One. I'm your host, Greg Walker. I really look forward to this show today. I think we have a remarkable guest. As a matter of fact, he's got a great story. He comes from a great family. The young man, he's a Clarksville native, and now he's with the Kansas City Royals. We're going to find out much more about Alec Mills today. I want you to settle back, relax, and enjoy a fun, down-to-earth conversation with an outstanding young man. We're going to find out much more about him right after these words.
The model year-end sales event continues at Matthews Nissan, Clarksville's favorite new car dealer. Save big on 400 new. We're making room for 2017s. $8,188 off a new Altima. $6,388 off a new Rogue. $7,888 off a new Maxima. Buy a new Versa, $9,999. You're going to love our prices.
I'm Gary Matthews, and that's my guarantee.
You're gonna love our prices. Matthews Nissan.
The Leaf Chronicle is now available on every device you carry or don't carry. All things Clarksville in all media 24/7. Subscribe now for full access.
For 100 years, Neil Tarpley Parchment Funeral Home has honored legacies. We believe every family deserves a special time of celebrating a life well lived.
Neil Tarpley Parchment, people who care, a name you can trust.
Welcome to our show today. Our guest in the house, the Kansas City Royals pitcher, Alec Mills. Alec, great to have you, man.
Yeah, how are you?
Another day in paradise for me. How about you?
Same thing. Every time I'm waking up.
Amen. You're a newlywed, too.
I am a newlywed, I am.
How many months now?
She was talking about the other day, it'll be almost 3 months when I leave for spring training.
When you leave for spring training.
Yes, sir.
Married life's good, though, isn't it?
It is. She treats me way too well.
Well, that's good, man. Have you, I know you have, but I asked for the fuck. You been working hard?
I have. I'd like to think I am, yeah.
Look, in great shape, folks. I mean, he is. He really is. How tall are you, too?
I'd say probably 6'4".
Every bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
That helps also. How's the arm, man?
It's good. Everything's feeling good right now. Guess I've been throwing for about a month now, maybe. I'm trying to get back into shape to get ready to go.
Yeah. And you looking forward to it?
I am. I always enjoy the off season. Time away, taking a break, time with family, spent with family.
Sure.
But about this time of year, when it's starting to get cranked up, is when I'm getting the itch back to get going.
Now, you graduated from Montgomery Central High School.
I did. Yep.
09. But you played Little League ball right out here at St. Bethlehem in the area because, well, him and his brother both. Now, your brother's, 3 years older than you?
3.5, yeah. He's 28.
28. And, but y'all both went to Montgomery Central.
Yes, sir. Yep.
You did. Had fun in the Little League out here, though, didn't you?
I did. There's a lot of friends that I still keep in touch with out there that I played with growing up.
I believe that. Now, for Montgomery Central in 09, he was the District 11 AA Player of the Year. When, Alec, did you, coming up, just fall in love with the game?
I mean, honestly, I'd have to say early. I don't know a specific date.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was really any sport. I was just trying to do whatever my brother was doing outside. And if he was playing baseball, I was there with him. Or,
right.
Throwing football, shooting basketball, anything like that. But, I mean, probably around the middle school times when I really, fell in love, and that's what I wanted to do, and spent a lot of my time doing it.
Now, Alec's dad, Joe Mills, and Joe and I are very good friends. Matter of fact, Joe co-hosts Sports Talk with me on Thursday nights on WJZM, and we've really had a good time. Alec's going to be with us as well. Tell us, though, Alec, your wife, Paige, and tell us about your folks and your brother, and just a little bit about each one of them.
Well, my wife, Paige, she graduated with me at Montgomery Central. Mm-hmm. Dated in high school somewhat, kind of off and on. But then actually started dating this time for real, for good, I guess a little over 4 years ago now. Mm-hmm. Just kind of been best friends ever since we've known each other, and I think that's the best way to do it.
I know it is. My wife and I are best friends.
Yeah, so we always, just genuinely enjoy hanging out with each other.
What about those parents?
My mom and dad, I tell you what, I've been very, very fortunate to have, I think, the best mom and dad there is. I think every kid does.
Well, yeah, no, not necessarily. You're blessed.
Yeah, but both
parents you have.
Both very supporting. Never wavered in their support. Always there. For both of us. Whether it was having to split up and one person go to my game and the other one go to Kyle's game or something like that, but they were always there, always supportive, and we always knew it, and just very loving, very fun people.
Who's better athlete growing up, you or Kyle?
Kyle was probably a better athlete in high school, better baseball player. He actually, his sophomore year was All-State. It was that year, I don't know if you remember, Central went to state.
They did.
And I think they got third, I believe.
I believe that's about right.
But, yeah, he was a pitcher on that team, had 11, 12 wins that year in high school, which is pretty absurd.
Yeah, it is.
Was All-State that year. He was actually on the same All-State team as David Price.
Huh.
David Price was the pitcher of the year, I believe, that year.
No kidding.
So that's kind of the small world aspect. But I think he was probably the better athlete.
I bet he's very supportive of little brother, though, isn't
he? He is. He loves it. He loves it. He's constantly sending me stuff online that he's looking for and searching and stuff like that on Google. And, hey, I found this on you and all that, So it's fun. Everybody does that.
Were you upset coming out of high school that you really didn't get any notice whatsoever? Austin P didn't come after you. No one came after you. Some small schools.
Yeah, I don't know if upset was the right word.
What would it be?
I mean, I think, I was frustrated. Yeah, frustrated, disappointed. But I think at that time it was kind of one of those things where, even though I loved baseball and that's, I enjoyed it, but I still, just wanted to be a kid and wanted to go get my degree and move on.
Why did you select UT Martin?
Well, I actually went to UT Martin. I started out with an engineering. I was going for engineering degree, and UT Martin was a very good school for that.
I got you.
And so I actually had no plans whatsoever to play baseball there. I was actually going there for school and got in a dorm and had roommates and stuff like that. Yeah. And just a couple weeks down the road, was driving by the baseball field at Martin, saw him out there practicing, and got the itch again, I guess.
It got to you, didn't it?
It did, yep.
What did you do, go to the coach?
Well, I saw them, and I told myself, I can still compete with these guys. I'm good enough, all that.
Yeah.
And like you said, got in contact with the coach. And he said, you're in luck. We have a tryout, walk-on tryout, just open tryout, show up whenever you want. And I don't remember, I think it was a couple days after I'd called him. So it was one of those things where I was like, ooh, I need to, get to throwing and all this. Yeah. And but went there. Guess I impressed him enough. He kind of just called me that night and said, we want you to keep coming out to practice. Never really told me, hey, you made the team, hey, congrats, any of that. He just said, hey, we want you to keep coming out. We want to keep seeing you. And then it just kind of kept going from there. So that's pretty funny.
He was a winning pitcher in UT Martin's first ever postseason victory as a Division I member. 7.2 innings, right?
Yeah.
You remember it like it was yesterday?
I actually do remember it pretty well. It was at the stadium for the Jackson Generals down there in Jackson. That's where we had our tournament.
Right.
It was against EKU. And that guy actually led off the game with a triple. Huh. I don't remember which pitch, very early on. Ended up scoring, I believe. And it's funny. I remember some stuff like that, but I don't remember how many runs the rest of the game were scored and stuff like that. But, 7.2 innings, I think that was, in my career, was the longest I'd ever pitched, because high school we only go 7 innings. So I think that was kind of cool for me to stretch it out and show some longevity.
Sure, absolutely. He's in the Skyhawks top 10 list in career appearances, strikeouts, wins, and innings pitched. Outstanding young man, Alec Mills, joining us today. We're going to find out more about Alec, find out him being drafted by the Royals right after this.
The Leaf Chronicle is now available on every device you carry or don't carry. All things Clarksville in all media 24/7. Subscribe now for full access.
Welcome back. Our guest, Alec Mills, today with the Kansas City Royals from Clarksville, Tennessee. Graduated Montgomery Central. Walked on UT Martin. Very successful at UT Martin. 2 years, 3 years you pitched there.
3 years, yep, 3 years.
Pitched all three.
Yep.
How was that?
It was good.
Experience?
It was good. It's another thing. I've got lifelong friends from college that I will speak to, all the time. Actually, one of them called me last night, and we talked for half an hour, just like we were, hanging out yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's definitely times I'll never forget. College was probably the best time of my life.
Tell me the story. Drafted by the Kansas City Royals, 2012, 22nd round. Did you know you were going to get drafted?
I don't think I knew. I thought it was a good chance.
You did?
Just from what people had told me. I didn't have any idea how the draft worked. Didn't know anything about it. Just kind of got sprung onto me because I had a good junior year.
Right.
But I had a good idea that it was probably going to happen. When, I had no idea, but just from what people and scouts had told me.
Right.
I was hoping so, yeah. But I was actually up in Madison, Wisconsin, playing summer ball with the Madison Mallards. And was
How was that league?
Very fun. I was only there for 9 days because of the draft, but it was very fun. Just, another extended, college ball experience.
Sure.
Just hanging out with guys that are all ready to have a good time. But I was actually on the bus going to Green Bay to play the Green Bay Bullfrogs, and got a call from the Royals, from my scout, saying, hey, it's happening soon, stay tuned, all this, we need to make sure, yes, no, you want to do this. Of course, without a thought, yeah, let's do this. And it was funny because we were all watching on our phones, all the guys on the bus.
Yeah.
Watching on the phones, uploading the phones on the the draft rounds and all that. And somebody on their phone loaded up first before mine, I guess, actually knew I was drafted before I was. It was kind of funny, and hey Mills, you just got drafted. Oh, what? All that. So the bus erupted. Everybody was pumped, and then I got a call from the Royals saying, hey, congratulations, all this, and gave me specifics of what was going to happen next, where to go, when to do it.
Now he has played for the Idaho Falls Chuckers, the Lexington Legends, Wilmington Blue Rocks, Northwest Arkansas Naturals, Omaha Storm Chasers, and got called up last year by the Kansas City Royals.
Yes, sir.
What kind of feeling was that when they said, hey, Mills, you're going to the bigs?
It's funny because you're talking about it right now, and I'm actually getting goosebumps again.
No kidding?
Yeah. It's actually another funny story. Actually told me on the bus again.
Really?
I guess I get a lot of good news on the bus, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, my manager came back. We were coming back from Springfield, and he sat down, and I didn't believe him. It's kind of funny. He said, "Hey, you're going to Kansas City," and I looked at him. Oh, no way. And he said, "No, I'm serious." He said, "You're going to Kansas City in the morning," and it's just, I'm still, it's nuts. First thing I did, everybody on the bus found out, high fives, everything, and the first thing I did was sat down and tried to call mom and dad, and they actually didn't answer the first time. Called both of them, neither of them answered.
No kidding.
Yeah, and it's funny because mom tells me that, and I called her back again, and she goes, "Oh, it must be something serious," because she heard it. I guess she was in her room, and so they ran in there, put them on speakerphone and told them, and
Which one of them cried, or did they both?
I have no idea. I hung up the phone and actually called my brother and now my wife after that, and told them the news. And I don't know what happened in the house after I got done on the phone.
Oh, I know. I'm telling you, it had to be some tears shed of joy. The best tears of all.
Yeah, most definitely. Yep.
The best tears of all. Okay, you're there. You're sitting out there in the bullpen, I'm assuming.
Yep.
The big leagues. Mm-hmm. I mean, are you taking all this in? How is that working? You're not having an out-of-body experience. I mean, you're trying to control yourself. You're trying to be a pro.
Yeah, definitely.
But is it hard?
Ooh, it's definitely the hardest part, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because, we always get advice from past big leaguers
Sure.
that are now and stuff. They always tell you, hey, pitching is the easiest part of being up there. And you're like, no way, that's got to be the toughest part in all this. But in my experience, my short experience, a few days I was up there, it really is.
Really?
And, I got there and somebody told me, hey, that third deck is the biggest difference. Because, you'll play with second decks and then AAA and all that, but that third deck, you don't see that there. So it was kind of funny. I went out before the game was throwing and tried to soak it all in. I tried to go out on the field and really look up.
Sure.
And say, hey, man, I'm here, all this.
I'm in the majors.
Yeah. So it was.
By the way, let me tell you how big this is if you don't get it. We've only had 2 in history and correct me, somebody out there, if you know different, because it's not so. Hod Lisenby struck out Murderers Row one time back in the 20s, 30s. Got a road out here named for him. Great player. Major leaguer. Alec Mills. The only other one from Montgomery County. And believe me, son, when I tell you, we have had some super, super talented individuals come out of this county. Do you know how proud we are of you? No, I'm serious. Your experience there, we're living this with you.
Yeah, a lot of people
we're
told me
rooting
that.
for you. I mean, I want you to be the ultimate pro.
I really appreciate it.
No.
A lot of people have told me that, and it means a lot.
Well, it means a lot to me for you and for your family, and I know you can do it. You got the want to, and I just think you can do it.
Most definitely.
We're going to come back for the stretch run.
All righty.
Alec Mills, our guest, back after this.
The Model Year-End Sales Event continues at Matthews Nissan, Clarksville's favorite new car dealer. Save big on 400 new. We're making room for 2017s. $8,188 off a new Altima. $6,388 off a new Rogue. $7,888 off a new Maxima. Buy a new Versa, $9,999. You're going to love our prices.
I'm Gary Matthews, and that's my guarantee.
You're gonna love our prices. Matthews Nissan.
For 100 years, Neil Tarpley Parchment Funeral Home has celebrated legacies with services as unique as each life.
Neil Tarpley Parchment, people who care, a name you can trust.
We got about 9 minutes left on our show today. Our guest is Alec Mills, Clarksvillian, Montgomery Countyan, played at Montgomery Central. UT Martin, drafted by the Kansas City Royals. He's on their 40-man roster, and sort of explain that a little to make the major leagues, you got to get on the 25-man roster. Mm-hmm. The 40-man roster comes in September, of course, and they expand to a 40. But you got to be on the 40-man roster to make the majors. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, the 40-man roster is kind of like a, I guess for lack of better words, a pool of players that you can pick from.
Right.
For the 25-man.
Right.
So everybody on the 25-man is on the 40, but then there's a handful of players in the minors that are also on the 40, but can be called up to the 25-man at any time during that year. And
of course, this happened to you. If when you go to spring training, how is that going to work this year? So you go out in Arizona.
Yes, Surprise, Arizona. It's just out northwest Phoenix, out in Arizona. And everybody that's on the 40-man goes to big league spring training as a roster invitee, and then there's also some non-roster invitees that will be at big league spring training. But then, you know, a lot of us are competing for a job on the 25-man.
Sure.
And then if you get called down, it's called an option, and you only get 3 options in your on your contract. So last year I had an option, and this year if I get called down as another option. And then if you run out of options, there's all kinds of complicated stuff about being taken off the 40-man.
Really?
Or being kept on the 25-man permanently, and you can't get optioned back down. So there's all kinds of. I mean, it's, you know, we leave agents to do that kind of stuff because there's so many things to deal with. And
how did you find your agent?
He actually approached me, and he actually was very good friends with my scout. So they kind of got in contact with each other, and then he ended up contacting me. Very fortunate to have who I have.
Well, who do you have?
Scott Barber. He's actually he lives in New Orleans, and he's with the Palangi Group out of Dallas, Texas.
Out of Dallas, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're up at the big leagues last year. Your cup of coffee. You're called in. You're on the mound. Can you give me just a little bit of what's going through you?
Honestly, it was just a lot of trying to slow myself down.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be nervous.
Yeah.
And really, I tell people I didn't feel nervous. It was kind of crazy.
Good. That's good.
But I know I was because I couldn't slow myself down. You know, wind up, pitch, and everything was just a million miles an hour. Couldn't slow it down. I was very erratic.
You weren't your natural self.
I'd like to think I wasn't. I walked a couple people, hit a guy. So, you know, just trying to slow myself down, but then trying to take it all in and realize, you know, the dream had come true.
Now, if it comes true again this year, though, you're more ready for this now, aren't you?
Yeah, you know, I actually went up. My debut was in May and went up in September and got to throw a couple times in September, and it kind of got more normal every time it happened. So that was good.
That helps.
Yeah,
sure.
I think that's kind of what they wanted to happen to get me ready.
Now, is Paige going to be a good baseball wife? It's tough to be a baseball wife.
It is, and she loves it. It's kind of funny because I told her going into it, I said, you know, I've had trouble finding a girl that wants to deal with all this, and she always tells me, in her head, she's like, man, I want to be that girl. So it's funny, but she loves baseball, always has. She was actually our statistician in high school for the high school team. Loves watching, loves, you know, all the little stuff about the game, and, you know, I think she likes the journey. Hopefully she's along for the ride.
Who were your heroes growing up? You have any?
You know, I don't have any, you know, obviously heroes with, you know, grandparents, I think.
That's great.
Spent a lot of time with them, and then I'd always like to say my mom and dad are my heroes.
Hey, that's great stuff. I'll tell you this. Your mom and dad love to come watch you play. It doesn't matter if they have to drive 9, 10, 11 hours.
Oh, no,
They've done it.
They do they'll leave at the drop of a hat to come do it.
They'll do it, won't they?
I never doubted that.
Supportive parents. Beautiful. What's the best advice Alec Mills has ever received?
You know, I guess from the whole walk-on aspect, somebody told me one time to always think you're the best player out there. You know, you see quotes sometimes of players coming out, you know, oh, I think I'm the best player in the world, and, you know, you always think, you know, no way, he's not, but I never will down somebody for saying that, because in your head you have to think you are, or you got no chance in the game.
Right.
And you know, never stop working.
Right.
Never let anybody outwork you.
And you're not going to do that, are you?
I'm going to try not to.
February 5th, as we tape this show in January, obviously 2017, but that's when you report, right?
Yeah, that's when I'm flying out to spring training. Get a couple days early. Get used to it out there. So.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yep.
And excited about it.
I am. I'm very excited about it.
Alec, what's going to make you successful? What do you count as successful? You know, you're successful already. You've made the major leagues, but what is success in your mind?
I think success in my mind is just always giving it your all.
Yeah.
Never giving up, and being the best person you can be. People measure success different ways. Not try to contradict you, but yeah, I guess I'm successful in some aspects, but I don't think I am yet, just because of where I want to be and what my dreams are.
I got you. That's great.
But yeah.
But to me, you are successful.
Yeah, and I am, and I'm not trying to tell you I'm not.
I know.
I am, but at some point, yeah, it's definitely.
I want to see you more successful.
I do too. I do too. I'm definitely not done yet.
Yeah, we talked about it. A perfectionist that never reaches perfection.
No. Mm-mm.
You know, it's hard to reach perfection. Who do you go to for advice? Your parents?
Yeah, I think I still do. And I think now a lot of times I'll ask my wife for advice, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes I might ask mine. Very few, Alec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very few. Who were you a fan of growing up?
We were always Cubs fan. My dad lived in Illinois, rooted for the Cubs, so kind of always grew up watching the Cubs. Loved watching Sammy Sosa play. I don't know if it was the dead sprint to right field or when he hit a home run, the hop, skip, and a jump around the bases.
Yeah.
And then I liked watching Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor pitch growing up. That was kind of when I really started getting into baseball and watching and seeing, the intricacies of the game and stuff. So that's who I loved watching.
Yeah, I love watching them myself.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, Joe, the Cubs finally came through for the Mills family.
Man, I tell you what, I watched the game with Dad, and it was unbelievable. I'm still a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
I play for the Royals, but I'll still be a Cubs fan.
At least they're in the National League.
They are, yeah.
Goodness.
So that was nuts. There's no words can explain that. It was an awesome event.
How good will the Royals be, in your opinion? Be honest with me.
This year,
the Major League.
I think we'll be very good. I think we were hit with injuries last year, that kind of crippled us. Lost Gordo for a while. Lost Lorenzo Cain for a good bit. Didn't have Moustakas for a good part of the year. And that's kind of the heart of the lineup.
That's a big bang.
Yeah. And I think we'll be just fine. We always have the team aspect, and everybody in there is pushing for each other. So,
buddy, it's been great.
Yeah.
We got to go.
Yeah. Before I forget, I got a baseball for you, Greg.
Thank you so much. I will have that in a special place, I promise.
Yeah, no problem.
Great. Go get them.
I will.
Alec Mills, Kansas City Royals, root for him. See you next time, folks. Great job.